Hello and welcome to Train Symbiotic. In a previous episode, you will see me opening this big hole of things. What I'm going to do today is actually start to show you what all these things are. It must probably going to be a couple of episodes going through everything, but we'll work through everything and see what we've got. I'll try to explain the differences between the glues. I'll explain the different equipment and a few other bits. So let's go to the titles and then we can have a look at some of this stuff. First thing you'll notice in this hole is so many different types of static grass. You might even be asking what static grass is. So let's start from the beginning. Static grass is a special type of grass which is also called flock, and in cars they put it on dashboards and that kind of thing, which when you put electrical charge on it, it stand up. And if you layer this, you can create all different kinds of effects. So in front of you we've got 2mm summer grass, 6mm wild meadow, 4mm dead grass, 4mm patchy, 4mm autumn, 4mm wild, 4mm spring, and then we have some smaller ones down here. So you will have noticed I said different lengths. The idea is you start off with your 1 or 2 mil to create your base layer, and then you use the longer ones gradually to create height in it. But one of the things you find is you need to be careful about which glues you use. So what I'll do, I'll move the glues to the front and then we can talk about them. So in front of you, you can see I've got 3 different glues. The first one is a basing glue. This is what we use for the first layer of the static grass. This is quite liquidy, and also it's electrically conductive. All of this need to be electrically conductive to make sure that the glues for static grass actually stand up. Next we have the spray grass layering spray. I'm not going to tell you that you can get away with using hairspray to use it, but that's something I have heard quite often. But this then allows you to stick your next layer of grass on. And then you've got turf glue, which is used with one of the that one there to create tufts of grass which you can place around. So we've got the glues, and they do come in different sizes. So we've got a basing glue there as a 250mm, and then we've got a little pot, which is not that much. The nice thing is you have lids you can put back on these, and depending on what size area you're working on, depend on what size bottle you need. So at work I'll be using those 2. Personally I'll be using those. So let's go. So that's the glues discussed, and in another episode I'll actually show you the techniques of using all the different glues when we have finished the church build. So let's go on to the next thing in this pile. The first item we're looking at properly, and I'll demonstrate, is a deballer. What this is as you can see here, This have turned into balls of fluff, which isn't really the best for scattering. So what I'll do is get us a tub, which we can put the deballer on. We'll go and grab a bag of grass, which I'll be able to reuse. As you can see, we have clumps. If I just move us up a tad, the idea is we just rub this over the grate at the bottom, which you can see that there's different size holes. And these big tufts turn into a fine powder. And you can see that that's already sticking to my finger. So this is something I haven't used before, but I have had trouble with balls of stuff. So as you can see, it's just a case of simply working across. You might even be better to do it that way across the thing, and these balls just gradually work down. I'll put these balls back into the bag. As you can see, this have turned really nice. So that's a quick look at the deballer. So let's have a look at the next bit. So this is for WWscenics Pro Grass Bots. This you use for tuft glue with. You need a 9-volt battery, and you need either trees or silicone paper. So this have several parts. You have a top surface here. This is where about you place your static grass, and this is where about it go all fluffy. You then have an on-off switch at the front. Then that side is clear. This side you have a place for your 9-volt battery, and out here you have this lead which you attach to either your tree or your silicone paper. So I put some batteries in here, so let's prep some silicone paper. The silicone paper come in large sheets. What I'm going to do is cut it into a nice square, as I don't really need that many pieces of grass just at the moment, but I want to see if this works. So I'm going to cut a small square out. So first is silicone non-stick paper, which means you can remove the grass. You can use any grass with this, but I'm going to use the 4mm that we were playing with earlier. So we have a bottle of tuft glue, And I'm going to carefully remove the tip of it. And there we go. As you can see, it's quite a sticky glue. So what you do, you put some blobs on the paper. Or you put some strips on the paper. Then put your top on the glue. Then you cocktail clip your thing, making sure not to have a messy work surface. Then you put some of your sketch material on the top there. Then you turn it on. And you can see that it just goes straight, being pulled to this. All the glue's well covered, and then you turn that off and let it dry. So I'll show you that off later on. You can see that's really nice and fluffy. That one's a bit not as fluffy, but the rest look really good. You can spread out the glue, but this is the first time doing it. Then have your Tupperware box. And just remove your static grass. So that's a leftover static grass on that. So that's 2 products we have looked at today, and a bit of an explanation into the systems. So let's come back in a while when this is glued, the glue have dried, and we can take it off and have a look at the results. I've now left these for a few hours. And that's ready to place wherever I want. So you just place it on your scene. And hey presto, you want to clump somewhere, you just put a clump. When you consider how much you pay for a pack of these at times, I think this was a good purchase. As yeah, I will be needing, you will use up your paper and your glue, but when you consider I got all this grass hanging around, I can make use of it. So next week, or next time on Not Tech Show, we'll have a look at some of the other products we got here. So thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much, Richard. I'm quickly barging in here at the end of the video just to do one last product, because one of my subscribers asked on my live stream on Wednesday about it. This is for WWs dark brown mud. This is a type of paint to create a mud effect, as you can see here. As you can see, I can touch it and I don't get anything on my finger, but it does give you the look of mud. Really easy to use product. They recommend using a glue spreader. Just take out a bit and then just smear it to make it to look like mud. And then just clear it off. And then after a few hours or a few days, it end up like that. They do several different colours and 3 different textures. So you've got the flat mud, bumpy mud and bumpier mud. I can't remember the 3 different names of it. But it's good for adding an extra layer to your layout. So now I've done that quick little bit, let's finish off this video. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everyone, and I'll see you either on Wednesday for the live stream at 8 or on Saturday for another video. Thank you very much, Richard.